coverage of Sport Beach 2023 at Cannes Lyons continues with our friends from Stagwell, and this is a real treat because we've gone from the Carolinas to Cannes. We've got big game James Worthy, of course, in the NBA Rookie of the Year. Paolo Banchero, who's spending his first time in Europe, by the way. How's that going?
It's been fun. I've been seeing a lot, doing a lot, and just blessed to be here, man. I dreamed of coming, across the water as a kid, so it's happy time right now.
It's great to see you after a wonderful first season in the NBA, and it's also special to be here with an NBA Hall of Famer, man who was on the top 75 team this year, and now finds himself in the south of France. So it's good to be James Worthy. How you feeling, big game?
I'm feeling good, man. It's nice to be here with everyone. Stagwell's done a great job putting on a great event, and it's been really nice connecting with different companies and different brands and learning about the business. So this is nice.
Well, it's been great to see you in these last few years, really as your playing careers behind you, continuing to explore opportunities in business and marketing. You've had a long-standing relationship, obviously, with New Balance. Talk to me about the James Worthy brand and when you started to look at him smiling already, but when you started to look at yourself as a brand, in addition, of course, to being one of the all-time greats on the court.
Well, you mentioned New Balance, and that was the first brand that I represented. And so I started to understand brand marketing, about my third or fourth year in the NBA, going to different cities and meeting up with different corporations because I knew that playing basketball was going to be a short career. I was fortunate to play 13 years, very young, 30s. And so most people are just starting to jumpstart their business and their careers at 30. Athletes get an earlier start because of who we are and what we do. But I always knew that I was going to have to do something in addition to playing ball because, when I came in, the money wasn't that big. And so occupation after your career was critical. So being able to meet corporations and people in business in the NBA helped a lot as far as, jump-starting my opportunities after I played.
Paolo, you're coming into the sport obviously at a much different time in media with brands and marketing seeming to be top of mind. Is it a challenge for you to focus on the main thing and keep it the main thing when there are these other opportunities out there that are obviously very exciting?
Yeah, for me, no, not really. I try and, force that upon myself to always keep the main thing. Basketball, I wouldn't be here without basketball. So, just want to put that first always. But at the same time, realize how important, brand partnerships and building your brand off the court is too. That's a big part, and I've been learning that just throughout my first year. Going from #1 pick to, winning Rookie of the Year, it's a lot that comes with that. So I just been trying to do my best and keep up.
Whether you're a Hall of Famer or a future Hall of Famer, I would imagine you guys have a lot of interest off the court that might surprise people when brands are approaching you. Maybe it's the traditional companies that would make sense for an athlete, but there are obviously some opportunities for outside of the traditional ones that are presented. So how do you let brands know, let marketers know that you have certain passion projects that they might be surprised about?
Yeah, I think for me, being 20, most of my life I committed to basketball, so I'm still going through the process of finding what it is I do like, finding new hobbies, learning more about myself. And so, that's really been my main focus. But, coming out here, you want to let people know, there's the other side to you besides what they may see on the court or on the TV. I'm a person, and I like to do different things, whether it's with friends, family, or just self-interest. So I'm just trying to show everything.
James, playing in LA for your entire career, you must have met people who work with brands and from marketing agencies and companies, all types of folks. As someone who has these interests off the court, are you the type who likes to go and approach these people, or do they come to you and have conversations about business away from the game? Or walk us through how marketers can best communicate with athletes like yourself.
I think the number one thing is when you're in your prime, you're sought after.
Well, you said he's 20, so we got a couple of years to the prime.
Well, anyway, he's just the beginning. He's 20, Rookie of the Year, #1 first pick. His attitude, from what I've seen, is amazing. It's the kind of person you want to work with. He's sought after. I was too early in my career. At the end of your career, when you're on the way out, you have to start the initiative. The NBA had a program where players could connect with corporations in the cities that they were playing in. So I would meet up with tax people and lawyers and business, and just try to understand what they were doing. And I would also introduce myself as a speaker who knows about teamwork. I've had some great coaches in Dean Smith and Pat Riley, so I've learned a lot about how to create cohesiveness in the workplace and having everyone understand their roles. So I go in with that approach, and I will send out messages to companies that I'm interested in. And every now and then, they'll call you back, and you'll have an opportunity to sit down and meet with them and sell yourself. So I think it's just a matter of being progressive. And I think a lot of athletes who are used to people coming to them have to realize that that's not always be the case. There's going to be younger and newer talent that they're going to want to be with. So I think you have to really explain what it is you're bringing to the table and what you can offer the companies. You do that now with social media; it's a lot easier. So that's kind of how I go about it.
Paolo, I'd be curious, your experience, one of the brands you work closely with obviously is Jordan Brand. You were just out in Milan representing them, which must have been an incredible experience. And you look at a brand like that that's been around for a long time now and in the marketplace. How do you bring something different to it and bring your energy to it? And how do you add to what they've already built for decades now?
Yeah, like you said, Jordan Brand, was built by Michael Jordan, and then, he was able to add, great talent to keep it running. And I think right now the talent's at a peak. If you look at, myself, not only myself, but Tatum, Doncic, Zion, list goes on. So, me just coming in, adding to that, I think I just add a little bit of different stuff. I think I have a strong, fan base out in Italy. That's part of my heritage. So having that and doing my first appearance out there in Milan and just trying to, grow it and, steady. There's a lot of guys that are there right now and at the prime, the top of their game. So, you got to wait in line a little bit, but, I'm excited. It's an honor to be with Jordan Brand.
You mentioned Michael Jordan, and that was your freshman.
Yeah, I taught Michael everything he knows. I didn't teach him anything I know, though. Yeah, but Michael was a freshman my junior year. And I remember recruiting Michael, young, talented, a better baseball player. Had more baseball scholarships than he did. And I think Coach Smith was the right coach for Michael because he had tons of talent, tons. But he didn't really know how to put it into perspective, a little bit of discipline as well. And I knew Michael was going to be a great NBA player, all-star. I had no idea that he was going to be who he is today. And I'm very proud of him. I knew his whole family pretty much. And to see him coming out of Wilmington and to see what he's done and what he's doing, it's just amazing. But, people always say, you played with Michael Jordan. I had to remind him that he played with me.
You guys had a chance to play with some of the marketers and brand reps a few moments ago. It's getting some shots up here on the Riviera. The game of basketball is taking you some amazing places. Obviously met some really interesting and unique people. What's it like to be here with Stagwell and Cannes Lyons, and what are your first impressions so far?
My first impressions is I'm just amazed by the whole setup. I've never been to an event like this. This is my first time in Europe, so like you said, basketball has taken me pretty much everywhere I've went outside of home. So, forever grateful for that. But this is a great event, and I'm excited to be here, and it's an honor to, have been invited to this.
James, as you continue your career not only in business but also in broadcasting as well, covering the Lakers, talk to me a little bit how media has changed in your career in your lifetime and how you've embraced it now. I see you on LinkedIn. I see you on Twitter. I don't know if we're TikToking yet, but I feel like it's coming. Talk to me about the importance of embracing new technologies as an athlete who looks to further their brand off the court.
Yeah, broadcasting is more personal now. You used to just be able to turn on your TV. You saw the guy on TV, and that was pretty much it. Now I'm texting people. I'm on social media. I'm answering tweets. So I feel more a connection with the audience who's watching. It's sped up tremendously. A lot of people can get their information immediately on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. But I find that the fan base has become a lot closer to the talent on TV, because I'm able to communicate with them more than I ever have. Before it was just me on the screen talking. Now I'm saying something on TV, doing commercial. I'm looking at my phone. Someone has tweeted me already, and I'm able to get back to them right away. So it's sped up tremendously, and obviously events like this where you get to come and meet people who usually hire us and be able to understand their business and get involved. It's been a major asset.
It's interesting to hear you talk about that relationship with your fans now on television. Paolo, I'd imagine, you have kind of the same thing. You go out there and have a game and you open the timeline and you've got fans telling you played great or you played however.
Both ways.
Exactly, right? Talk to me about just working with a brand like Jordan Brand or other brands and connecting with your fans and building community. And what's that been like as your star has grown to now see your fan base grow and to have that kind of intimate interaction?
Yeah, it's been surreal. I grew up being a fan of the game of basketball, being a fan of a lot of different players, so I knew what it was like. I grew up with social media in my life as a young kid, so I knew what it was like to be a kid following their favorite player. And so now, with the roles reversed, I just gotta, take advantage and, try my best to connect, because you know how much it means to those kids and those people who look up to you and watch you every day. And the more interactions you're able to have with them, the more they pay attention and the more that they support you. So it's important.
It's really interesting for me as a basketball fan to be sitting here with these two guys, because they're obviously two of the greatest in the game for different eras. And now, we've got this Carolina connection, obviously. It seems like have we settled it? Duke North?
7 miles.
Have we settled it though, Carolina Duke?
I think we're being really nice to one another. Normally that's not the case.
It's going really well, which is good. But I wonder what your guys' advice and your perspective would be if there was somebody out here who works in a marketing company or works for a big brand, about how to best work with athletes and how to best capitalize all the great things that you bring to the table. What would your advice be to somebody out there in marketing about how to best work with athletes?
I think the best way to work with an athlete is to have him understand what it is you're looking for. I think as an athlete, you really have to understand the brand that you're representing. So I think the quicker that a company can convey that, because a lot of times we think we're just showing up to sign autographs, take photos, and I think it's more than that. You have to really believe in the brand that you're working with. And for me, I almost put myself in a position of being an employee. I try to understand everything I can, but I think you have to be clear with your message to an athlete, clear with instructions on what you want him to do. It can't be vague. It has to be exactly what you want. And don't be afraid to push, because a lot of times we're here and we don't understand what you want. But I think if you convey a message that we can understand and we can, voice, I think that would be the key.
Paolo, is there something that you would want brands and marketers to know about you and working with you, that as you look forward to, a long career in the NBA and you continue to grow your portfolio as an investor, as a marketer? Is there something that people should really understand about working with you, and what's that like?
Yeah, I think for me, it's always important to kind of, like he said, be in line with whatever brand you're working with, really believe in the brand, being able to take it on as part of your brand, and then working together to, I think, push a message that, you want to have out, or maybe a belief or anything, to connect with the people and your fans, or, connect with what you believe in and what you're about. So I think that's important, and just having that partnership, just being able to relate on that level.
I mean, there's no better place than Sport Beach, obviously, here at Cannes Lyons, to connect with brands and to connect with these world-class athletes. Big game, James, Paolo, we appreciate you both. Paolo, be easy on my Knicks this year, will you? Please. We'll have lots more, of course, from Sport Beach as the week rolls on.